You are now listening to theGrio's Black Podcast Network, Black Culture Amplified.
Hi, and welcome to the Blackest Questions, a trivia game show meant to teach us more about Black history. I'm your host, Dr. Christina Greer, politics editor for theGrio and associate professor of political science at Fordham University. In this podcast, we ask our guests 5 of the Blackest Questions so we can learn a little bit more about them and have some fun while we're doing it. We're also going to learn a lot about Black history, past and present. So here's how it works. We've got 5 rounds of questions about us, Black history, the entire diaspora, current events, you name it. And with each round, the questions get a little tougher, and the guest has 10 seconds to answer. If they answer correctly, they'll receive 1 symbolic black fist and hear this. And if they get it wrong, they'll hear this. But we still love them anyway. And after the 5 trivia questions, there will be a Black bonus round just for fun, and I like to call it Black Lightning. Our guest for this episode is comedian, actress, and writer Gina Yashere. Gina was raised in London and was an engineer before embarking on her comedic journey.
Did you know there were black people in England? Did you know? We are everywhere.
She was a contestant on Last Comic Standing, has performed on Def Comedy Jam, and is now on a comedy tour following the success of her 1-hour comedy specials. She's written a memoir titled Cack-Handed, and she's also the co-creator, co-showrunner, writer, and actor on the popular CBS sitcom Bob Hearts Abishola, which is the first American sitcom to feature a Nigerian family. Hello, Gina. Thank you so much for joining the Blackest Questions. Are you ready to play?
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Dr. Greer.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So our listeners out there, I've known Gina and her work for a very long time. So I'm just so excited for you. I'm so proud of you. And so let's get started with question number 1. This Black comedian is one of the highest paid stand-up comedians in the business. She's won several Emmys for her work on television comedies, and she's also a fierce advocate for gay rights and was the first Black woman and the first openly LGBTQ plus person to host the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Who is she?
Let's say Wanda Sykes.
You are correct. So, Wanda is an HBCU graduate of Hampton University, whose first job was working for the National Security Agency before she landed a spot writing for The Chris Rock Show. And since then, she's been a part of dozens of television shows and films. In 2004, Entertainment Weekly named her one of the funniest people in America.
The other day, I pulled the hair out of my neck that was so long, I thought my neck was growing bangs. I was like, what the fuck is this? Oh, how long has this been here?
And she's also a part of only a handful of women to ever host the Oscars. So we are doubly proud of Wanda Sykes. I love her work on the Upshaws with our good friend Aaron Jackson, who's been writing there, which is great. So who were some of your favorite comedians, Gina?
It's so funny because people always ask me who my influences are, which I never watched comedy like that as a kid. I'm not one of those comedians with an encyclopedic knowledge of comedy. So I can't, and I just never watched it because I was doing other things. I was doing engineering, and my family was like, doctor, lawyer, engineer, accountant, which one is it? Okay, pick that one, study that. So I never looked at comedy in that way. And when I started doing comedy, I didn't want to be influenced too much because you can watch some comedians and know who they're influenced by. So I didn't watch a lot. I watched my peers. So obviously when I came to America, I was like, where are the other Black women like me? So Wanda Sykes definitely is one of my top, so she's definitely one of my top comedians. I love Chappelle up until he started doing all that trans nonsense.
Man.
Let's not even go down that road.
That's a whole other podcast episode. It's like, what happened to Chappelle, question mark.
Yeah. So there's a lot of good comedians out there, but I tend to just watch my peers rather than just studying all, because I like to. Cat Williams is still one of my favorite comedians ever. Like, but if you pull away the layers of pimp and the cussing and all that, he's a highly intelligent man. Like, I toured with him back in 2012 during all the craziness, but I had some really insightful conversations with him on the road, and the man is one of the most intelligent people I've ever met.
Now, see, I grew up in the States, so I loved Joan Rivers. Yes. Besides Eddie Murphy and those I love Rodney Dangerfield. So, when you were breaking into comedy and building this career, not just on stage, but also writing, were there sort of some gender dynamics that you noticed? Or, I always feel like when I talk to comedians, some comedians are like, funny is funny, gender doesn't matter. And then others are sort of like, no, there are differences about being a woman or being Black or being a Black woman in this space.
I came from engineering. So I came from industry where I was the first woman engineer in Otis McKay's 100-year history. First female elevator engineer. And so, sounds great on paper. It was awful because I was the first woman and Black. So, and I worked on construction sites where there's no HR. So I constantly got all the N-word in my face every day. I'd come into work and people had put banana skins above my overalls and pictures of monkeys in my pockets and things like that. So coming from that to comedy felt easier in comparison. But the racism was still there, the misogyny was still there. The difference between we definitely got treated different. When I first started doing comedy, I never met other women comedians because we were treated like a novelty act. I'd be on a bill and I'd be the only woman or the only Black person on the bill. So we were always treated like a novelty act. So there was definite differences in the way we were treated and how to get on in comedy. As a woman comedian, you got to come on and you got to be funny straight away. With men, they'll give you the benefit of that. Come on stage, you can meander a little bit and play around before you get your first laugh. But as a woman, you got to come out strong and go, hey, because immediately people's arms are folded mentally and physically the moment you walk on stage as a woman. So you got to unfold those arms immediately, whereas guys don't have to. They can take their time. And even if they're not that funny or they're mediocre, they get the benefit of the doubt. There's not as much anger and hatred towards them for not being funny. But when a woman's not funny, it's anger as well as hatred, as well as, see, women aren't funny. You see one unfunny white man, you don't go, well, comedy is not funny.
Right.
No more comedy.
Right. Let's throw them all out.
Exactly.
Now, I want to hear you tell us a little bit more about your comedy tour, The Woman King of Comedy. And so what can fans expect? Tell us what you enjoy about performing in front of a live audience. That's a very different experience than being in the writer's room with a whole bunch of people, being a showrunner. So tell us a little bit more about The Woman King of Comedy.
I love doing stand-up comedy. Stand-up is my first love. Everything else is to feed my stand-up because there are two different types of comedians. There are comedians that just do comedy to get on TV and get in the and as soon as they do, they're out. They never look back. I'm the other type of comedian. I do TV and do all the acting and do all the other stuff so that I get more known, so more people will come out and see me do my stand-up. So The Woman King of Comedy is my tour. I obviously named it after the movie because the movie, Viola Davis, I love you, the people in that movie were very close relation to my family's people. My family is from Benin City, Nigeria, and Benin, the country, is next door. It's not Benin City. Benin City is within Nigeria, but very similar people. And so that's where the idea of The Woman King of Comedy came from, because it's so close to my culture, my people. And what my stuff is very biographical. I like to tell stories from my life, from birth to present day. It can be anything. And it can be political only because by virtue of who I am, I'm a walking political statement. I'm a Black, queer woman, child of immigrants, and also immigrant myself, having moved from England to America. So it encompasses everything. But it's always comedy. Like my first port of call is to make you that. First port of call. I'm a comedian. I have to comedian. So that is always...
Right. Well, I'm so excited for it. I can't wait for our listeners to support it. The Greer family is so excited for it. And support women, the Woman King of Comedy. Okay, are you ready for question number 2?
Go ahead. Let's see.
Okay. This food is the national dish of Nigeria and has become wildly popular all over the world. What is the name of this dish?
Jollof. I'm going to say jollof rice. I don't know. Jollof rice?
You are correct. It's jollof rice. So, jollof rice consists of long grain rice, tomatoes, onions, and spices. It's many people's introduction to Nigerian cuisine. Nigerian food, which is heavily vegetable-based, has become a common fixture in places that have large Nigerian populations like the United States, the UK, and Italy. And there's even something called the Jollof Wars, where chefs from different parts of Africa compete, all claiming their version of the dish is the best. Now, I'm going to say this because I need it to be in perpetuity. There is a woman in Bethesda, Maryland, named Tara Abayemi, who makes the best Nigerian jollof. I will put that jollof up against anyone's jollof. Ghana, Senegal, Sierra Leone, anyone else from Nigeria. I mean it. I'm a jollof connoisseur.
Nigerian jollof is the best.
My Ghanaian friends get really upset about it, but there's no contest. It's no contest. And I have the one person in the world who makes the best jollof.
And that's because I make a pretty good jollof too. So,
well, you do know that I will find out your address and knock, knock, knock. I come to California a lot. I'll be the little squirrel on your front stoop. Like, did someone say jollof? But it seems like, Gina, in recent years, we've seen a lot more Nigerian representation. Actors and actresses leading roles in Hollywood. Is that something that you've noticed? And do you watch Nollywood movies as well when you're sort of thinking about ideas and relaxing and watching television?
I mean, I've been watching Nollywood movies with my mother forever. Whenever I used to go, when I went to Nigeria, I'd go straight to Balogun Market in Lagos and buy up all the DVDs of all the movies to bring back for my mum. So I've been watching Nollywood movies. And it's amazing. Because the industry is huge. And people, because of the way that the internet has changed the way we consume media now, we become way more aware of other countries and their movie industries and their TV industries, which is great, which has brought us to the forefront. And we're making fantastic movies. And I want to go to Nigeria and make a show in Nigeria. It's going to happen. So Bob Hearts Abishola is my doorway in.
Right. Well, listen, we believe in manifestations on this podcast. So you put it out there and the universe is going to make it happen. And the Blackest Questions will be like, we were there when Gina Yashere said that she's going to have a show in Nigeria. We support it. And all of our listeners are just putting that energy out there for it to happen. Now, when you go to Nigeria, where in the country do you stay? Do you mainly stay in Lagos or do you travel all around and do you have relatives in other parts outside of Lagos?
So my family are from Benin City. I have not been there yet because my mother and all my mother's side of the family all came to England. My dad went back to Nigeria when I was 3 years old and I only didn't meet him again until I was like 38. So I haven't been to Benin. I want to go because that's where the bronzes came from. That is where my people are from, where the Benin bronzes came from. So I want to go and experience it myself and buy a bronze, an original brand. I mean, obviously not the original, but buy a bronze from the artisans who make it, because there are generations of people. The skills are being passed down generations. So there are, ancestors who passed down those to the people of today. So I want to go and get an original one. We used to have them in our house when I was a kid, but I didn't realize what they were. We used them as doorstops. And now I see a bronze that I've seen on Etsy for sale for $5,000. And I was like, I had one of those in my house as a kid and we used it as a doorstop. I don't know where it is. But I've only ever been to Nigeria twice. This is a admission I'm making right now. But when I went, both times I was in Lagos. First time I went, it was my first time going, so we were just in Lagos and I just explored Lagos. And the second time I was doing a show with a famous comedian out there called Basketball, who brought me over to Lagos to do a show.
Well, we're going to put it out there that all things are going to happen and Gina Yashere is going to have a big show in Nigeria and all of us are going to just celebrate it and love it.
And I will be welcomed there with open arms despite the fact that I'm illegal there.
Right. That's also a different podcast, right? We have a few podcasts going. Okay, are you ready for question number 3, Gina?
Go on.
This song by rapper Coolio was the top-selling song in the U.S. back in 1995 and was the second best-selling single in the UK that same year. What is the name of this track?
I'm going to say Gangsta's Paradise.
You are correct. So this song won Coolio a Grammy for Best Rap Solo Performance and was originally made for Dangerous Minds, the movie soundtrack. But once Coolio saw how popular it was, he added it to his second album. But that wasn't originally the plan.
I'm the kind of cheater little homies wanna be like, on my knees in the night, saying prayers in the street light.
So the song was a hit in the US and the UK, but also in places like Ireland and Denmark. And in Australia, it held the #1 spot on the charts for 14 weeks, which was a record held by Coolio for 22 years. The song was sampled from Stevie Wonder's song Pastime Paradise, because Stevie didn't want his song used with any profanity. It's the only song by Coolio that has zero foul language. And so I know that you're a music lover, and I know you actually hosted a British music award show called Music of Black Origin with Coolio back in 2007. Tell us a little bit more about that experience and how you bridge music and comedy, actually, because we oftentimes see those two incongruents together.
I mean, yeah, I hosted with him back in but I loved it. He was such a lovely guy. We had such a good time. He gave me a load of hip-hop and Hollywood gossip, which I cannot share on this podcast. But
come on, it's just us. It's just us talking, Gina.
Much gossip. And we had such a great time. We had a really fun time. And then on the day of the show, it was crazy because when we did rehearsal, because this show, the Mobile Awards, Music of Black Origin was at the time was broadcast live around Europe. Live. So millions of people. So we were rehearsing it for 2 weeks beforehand, and he was brilliant in rehearsal. We were doing all the stuff. We bounced off each other. It was great. On the day, I don't know what he took before the show. But on the day, live, he was just like this. And I was like, Coolio. And I was doing my line and going, Coolio. And he was like, and then I had people shouting in my ear, go, do his lines, do his lines. So I had to I had times where I was supposed to go up and do outfit changes. I couldn't do any of them because I had to take over parts of the show that he was meant to be doing while I was changing because he was out of it. But we had a wonderful time. We met up at the after party afterwards and we had a blast. And it will always be one of my favorite experiences. God rest his soul.
Oh, listen, and he gave you a great story to remember him by, and that's for sure. Now, before you go on stage, since, stand-up is your first love, do you have basically like hype music, or are you one of those comedians that kind of just needs quiet and you're like in a reflective state, or do you have like a playlist where it's like, we're about to do this, like I'm about to kill this set, like, and you have like, is it like hip hop, is it reggae, is it Afro beats, like, do you have particular music for different things that you're doing?
I like high tempo music to energize me, so definitely hip hop. I'm an old hip hop head. Like, I'm bouncing to Big Daddy Kane, KRS-One, Public Enemy, EPMD. I'm old school hip hop. But that and Afrobeats, that's the mix. Having said that, there are moments where I go, all right, if I've got a big show, I've got all my team in the room with me, I've got all my friends, we're partying. And then about half an hour before the show, I'll go, all of you, get out. I need a moment to just sit and be still. I like to be still. Sometimes I'll meditate before a show because I sometimes get inspiration when my brain is quiet. So I'll sometimes meditate before a show. So in the 2 hours before, it's music, it's noise, it's getting myself hyped. And half an hour before, shut up, get out. Then we get my head together. Yeah.
I love it. I absolutely love it. We're going to take a quick commercial break. I'm with comedian, writer, co-showrunner, actress, you name it, Gina Yashere, and we'll be right back. You're listening to The Blackest Questions.
The 80s gave us unforgettable songs from Bob Marley, De La Soul, and Public Enemy.
I'm a black man, and I can never be a veteran.
Being Black the 80s is a podcast docuseries hosted by me, Touré, looking at the most important issues of the 80s through the songs of the decade. A decade when crack kingpins controlled the streets, but lost their humanity.
You couldn't be like no soft, smiling, happy-go-lucky drug dealer. You had to suppress that.
It was a time when disco was part of gay liberation.
It provided the information to counter narratives that were given to gay people by the straight world.
This is the funkiest history class you'll ever take. Join me, Touré, for Being Black the 80s on the GRIO Black Podcast Network or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Okay, we're back. Are you ready for question number 4, Gina?
Done pretty well so far. I know it's going to get harder.
I mean, like, you're 3 for 3. Let's go. Okay, question number 4. Known for her roles on Law & Order Special Victims Unit and Star Trek Picard, this actress is also vice president of the Screen Actors Guild. Who is she?
Give me a clue. Is it a black woman?
Yes, it's The Blackest Questions.
And I don't know.
So the answer is Michelle Hurd. And it's a Michelle with 2 L's, like me and my middle name. So I already love her. So Michelle Hurd is a television and film actress who's appeared in nearly 80 different projects, including popular shows like Hawaii Five-0, Gossip Girl, ER, and The Glades. She's been the vice president of SAG, the Screen Actors Guild, since 2021, and she's been on the front lines of this year's writers and actors strike, explaining that more than 90% of those working in Hollywood are struggling to make ends meet. You've been picketing with your fellow actors and entertainers, and so for some of our listeners out there who might not understand what all this means, what do you want them to know about the strike, and also what can they do to support you all as you all strike?
What I want them to know about the strike is this strike pertains to all of us. It's a strike against corporate greed. It's not just about Hollywood. It's about the nurses. It's about doctors. It's about UPS drivers. It's all about us railing up the people against corporate greed, because the money has gone up instead of funneling down towards the people that are actually doing the work that makes these corporations billions of dollars. People need to know that, people think, it's actors, it's Hollywood. Guys are greedy. You're all on TV, you're all making tons of money. But they need to know that 87% of actors don't make over $26,000 a year. The big name stars that you're seeing are 0.2% of the population of actors working in this industry. 92% of actors in this industry don't make more than $40,000 a year. So they don't qualify for healthcare provided by our union. So this is what I want people to know. This is all of us. This is for all of us. It's not just for us in this industry. We need to fight back now against corporate greed.
That's right. And so what can we do, those of us who are in this particular industry? What can we do to support the writers and the actors in this moment? Because, some people are just like, oh, the strike is just, rich people trying to get richer. And that's clearly not what it is. It's a larger corporate greed conversation that you all are having. So what are our marching orders, if you will, for those of us who want to support?
Support, repost all the information that you're getting from us regarding the strike. If you're available, come and hang out with us on the picket lines. There's always free food and music. We're always keeping our morale high with great activities. So come and visit us on the picket line and march with us. But even if you can't do that, just support online with the narrative, because they'll try and put out the narrative that we're just rich, greedy people just wanting more millions, which is not the case. So just help us subvert that narrative, which is completely wrong. And then later on down the line, if we need your help in boycotting these streamers, if they're refusing to pay, we don't need that yet. But later on down the line, we might need that. Then help us with that too.
All right. Well, we will stay tuned. And for those of you who don't follow Gina on social media, make sure you do so we can sort of stay abreast of what we should be doing. And Gina, what's your Instagram handle for folks to follow you?
I keep it very simple. At Gina Yashere. Just at my name. No dots, no dashes, no extra letters. Gina Yashere, my name.
That's fine. That's perfect. Okay. Are you ready for question number 5? We're still doing very well, Gina.
I should have got that very well. Right. I'm embarrassed. When I meet Michelle, well, serious at me. Let's go.
Right. No. Shout out to Michelle Hurd, and I'm going to thank her for the work that she's doing with SAG. Okay. Question number 5. This annual parade in New York City features more than 10,000 performers from around the city that include genres like African, Afrobeat, Afro-Cuban, hip-hop, reggae, and more. What is the name of this event?
Is it the Labor Day?
No, it's called Dance Parade New York. This parade celebrated 17 years back in May, and it featured over 100 styles of dance. And it starts on 6th Avenue and goes all the way to Tompkins Square Park. And it's thousands of dancers who perform traditional routines that represent cultures from across the African diaspora. It's been going on for 17 years. And so I know that you and your partner love to dance, and people who follow you all on social media have come to expect.
For 6 years. And I lived not far from Tompkins Square Park and knew nothing about the parade.
Well, this is why people listen to the Blackest Questions. So next time you come to New York, you can celebrate with us.
Indeed.
And so we know that some of your followers have come to expect some dance videos from you and your partner almost weekly. Did you grow up from a dancing household? Some people talk about, like everyone in my family, we always danced, we laughed, we told jokes at the table. And then other folks are in the entertainment industry, and it's like they come from families where that was never the case. What was your household like?
So my mum loved music, and my mum used to play a lot of music, and she was a party girl, not a party girl, but she loved it, but very much Nigerian stuff. So she'd go to Nigerian events. So I was brought up around music. We had a record player. We played lots of music. I used to sneak and use my older sister's record player when she was out, and she'd come back, and it was like a scene from Misery. She'd seen that I knew one thing. She'd beat the hell out of me because she knows I've been touching her stuff. So there was a love of music in the house, definitely growing up and dancing. And my mom always used to learn dances, and then my mom's friends would come around and say, "Go, Gina, bring your brothers, come and do that dance that you learned. Do it for Uncle Jonathan." And then we'd be like, "Ugh, we do it." So we were brought up in that whole thing. I had a love of music since childhood that I got from my mother, for sure. And then I moved towards it, hip hop and house music, hip hop, house, Afro. That's my thing.
I think that, music is just such a unifying factor, the way comedy is in a lot of ways. There's something about this collective laughter when you're in a comedy club, sitting next to someone who's a total stranger, and sometimes you're like tapping their shoulder, and they're holding you because they can't stop laughing. It's a communal thing in a way that dance brings people together because it's shoulder to shoulder. You're vibing off of the same thing, and that's why I'm always so fascinated to see this connection between so many comedians who really do love music. I'm thinking of Dion Cole and his Soul Sundays during lockdown, playing house music where it's just, it's comedy during the day, but house music on Sundays for, to get bodies moving.
Exactly. And I do.
Now, did you ever DJ?
I've DJed once in my life, but it's not my skill. And I don't want to take that skill from any of my friends who are really true DJs, but I love music. Hence, I do my thing every week on Instagram and Facebook called Tunes on Tuesdays, where me and Nina I pick the tune. I don't allow Nina to put the tune unless I like the tune. If she did the tune that I like, okay, we use it, but I get the last say. So I pick an old tune and we dance to it and we go, who is it? You got to guess it. No Shazam. And that's the game I've been playing every Tuesday for good at least 6 years.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Okay, Gina, you've done incredibly well. What is this? 3 out of 5. But yeah. I mean, that's incredibly well for Blackest Questions. Are you ready for the Black Lightning round? There are no right or wrong answers. You just tell me the first thing that comes to your mind, and that's the answer. Okay? And it's quick. What's a backstage ritual you've got to do before every comedy show?
Music. Dance to music.
Okay. What's an American tradition that confuses you or makes you roll your eyes?
American tradition. 4th of July. I love it. I love the fireworks, but I don't get the sentiment behind it.
Right. What's your favorite thing about New York City?
Oh, people, the vibe, the vibrancy of it. Least favorite, rats and roaches, but the people are the vibes.
The people are the vibe, not the rats and roaches. Now, what's your favorite thing about LA?
Weather, outdoor living.
Anyone who follows you on social media knows about the videos you make giving reviews of your hotel rooms. So what's the best thing a hotel can do, and what's the worst thing they can do?
Best thing they can do, no carpets, wood, clean floors, you can see everything. No fabric on the furniture. I do not like fabric furniture because that soaks up germs and bodily fluid. I want wipeable furniture, wipeable headboard. When you're in bed, I don't want my head touching. If I move the camera over, you'll see that I've got a flat sheet covering the headboard on that bed because that is gross. What's the worst thing they could do? I hate naked comforter just between 2 flat sheets. Cover the hat. I want it in a zipped cover because you know that they don't use those things but once every few months.
Yes. Okay. Last question. What's your go-to karaoke song?
I hate karaoke. Hate it.
Oh gosh.
But if I was forced to do karaoke though, Humpty Hump, Digital Underground.
Well. Okay, so I'm going to show up at your doorstep in Los Angeles with my bowl ready for some jollof, and then I will take you to do a little karaoke begrudgingly. Gina, I want to thank you all. Thank you so much for playing the Blackest Questions. You've been so great. I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for your career. Keep writing. For those of us who are listening, please look up Gina Yashere on Instagram and social media and make sure you check out her comedy specials and go see her live. I want to thank you all for listening to The Blackest Questions. This show is produced by Sasha Armstrong and Jeffrey Trudeau, and Regina Griffin is our director of podcasts. If you like what you heard, subscribe to this podcast so you never miss an episode, and you can find out more from the GRIO Black Podcast Network on the GRIO app, website, and YouTube.
I'm Torre. Join us for crazy true stories about stars who I really hung out with, like Snoop, Jay-Z, Prince, Kanye, and the time I got kidnapped by Suge Knight. Don't miss my animated series Star Stories with Torre from the GRIO Black Podcast Network.